Hello all and welcome to Ldr606. I'm David Lucas. I'll be your professor instructor. This is a quick little syllabus course review. So let's get started. What you have in front of you is your landing page. You can see it has a little video for you. It takes you through some of the concepts of entrepreneurship and traits and things like that. You have a little question and answer for you. I'd like you to go through that. So when you log in every time, you'll come to this page. You'll see the announcements. Please keep up on the announcements because we use quick questions in here all the time. So make sure you keep up on the announcements. Everything's over here where you need it. The syllabus, which we'll go through in a moment. Any information on me. If this isn't your first class, you know all about that. Any course expectations as far as time and Zoom sessions that'll happen in the future, things like that are right here. Just as a general rule of thumb, please plan on committing at least 5 hours a week on an online class, much like you would do on an in-seat class. If you keep up with all the readings and discussions and assignments, you'll be fine. So, what are the assignments? They're right here over in course assignments. There are class discussions, weeks 1 through 6 and week 8. In the class discussions, you'll answer any questions that are posed. Any reading that I assign you, you'll find your own readings if that's what I ask. And provide at least 2 replies to classmate posts. And on top of that, you'll answer, usually around midweek, you'll answer any quick questions that I have. There's also an individual assignment due in the Dropbox by the end of week 4. That's where you will interview an entrepreneur. This gives you the specifics of that. To locate an entrepreneur, which is someone that actually started a business either by themselves or as part of a team. Please try to stay away from large franchises or somebody that works for a large company. Or somebody that just works for an existing business that's been around for a while that they didn't start. Try to find an actual entrepreneur that started a business. And this gives you what I'm looking for as far as the history behind it, where their idea came from, the industry they're in, the customers, risks, surprises, all that good stuff that you'll need to get information from your interviewee. The deliverable is pretty easy and straightforward. 4 pages of relevant and creative information in an MS Word document. That does not count the cover page or reference list. 12-point standard font, double space, the usual APA format. And you'll put that in the Dropbox prior to the end of week 4. Team assignment is due by the end of week 7. That is a team business plan. Each team will create a business plan. You'll get your team assignment either the first or second week of class, depending on adds and drops. Within that business plan, you'll see Chapter 12 in the text, which I'll show you in a second. Chapter 12 takes you through the main components of the business plan, and these are the components that I want. You'll see that there's no financial component here because I'm not much interested in that. This isn't a full-blown MBA type finance course where I'd have you do financials and projections and things like that. That's not what we're looking for. Looking for the teams to put together a really good business idea and then follow it through and at least provide all this information with description, market segment you're going after, any specific niche, how you're going to operate it, how would operations look like in your company, how would your management be structured, and then any risks that you see with your companies, some kind of SWOT analysis, something like that. This would be done in there it is. Deliverable to the Dropbox is you'll put together a PowerPoint with voiceover narration of each of your slides, which will contain all this information, and what you're trying to do is put together like a pitch meeting recording for potential investors to your company. This pitch meeting that you'll record a little bit with each slide has about a 15-minute max, so try to keep the whole entire presentation into about 15 minutes, because that's what you get for a real pitch meeting in real life. So it's up to the team to divide that out by however many teammates there are and make sure that everyone speaks relatively the same amount of time, and it's equal and equitable situation for everybody. And that's what this says. Some hints: cover slide with team number and names, a really healthy reference slide with outside sources to back up all this fine information that you're going to provide about your company. Each team member must produce slides, content, and audio. So it's not good enough for you just produced a slide. You have to have your voice in there actually explaining what your slide's all about. Each team member must submit the final team project to the Dropbox, not just one submission. Each and every one of you have to submit it. And the author's name should always be in the footer of each slide. As always, it will be graded on content, creativity, and understanding of the concepts of the course and this business that you propose. That's the major assignments. There's a few course rubrics here for you as far as the discussion forum each week. The presentation rubric for the voiceover PowerPoint, make sure that it's organized, you know what you're talking about. It links to the fundamental concepts of the course and of Chapter 12. There's some creativity there with graphics. Make sure that the mechanics are solid, which means no misspelled words or truncated sentences. Watch your grammar, watch your sentence structure. Now, you can't do eye contact because we can't see each other, but what you can do is make sure that you do not read the slides. That's the worst thing you can possibly do in a real-life presentation or in a recorded presentation. Make sure you do not read the slide. Just tell us about the slide. Tell us about the information that's on the slide. Do not read it to us. We all learned to read a long time ago, so we really don't need you to do that for us. Let's see, the e-portfolio is due in each class. We want to see progress. That's due in the Dropbox also by the end of week 8. There's a Dropbox for that too. Let me show you those real quick. There's a Dropbox for your e-portfolio. There's a Dropbox for your week 4 interview of an entrepreneur and your week 7 team business plan. Each one of those has a Dropbox. What else? The first thing you want to do is check in the water cooler here. I put in this little netiquette description, kind of how we get along with each other in our course. Some of the rules to make this a really enjoyable, interactive, back and forth, participative course. So check in there. Introduce yourself, share any information you want with the class, ask questions about the course. I'll check it. I'll try to check it a couple times a week to see if there's any questions in there. And it's just really a framework for positive interaction between everybody throughout the course. Like I said, the teams will be chosen later first week, maybe into the second week, depending on how adds and drops go. If you need any assistance, or if I suggest you need some assistance from the writing assistant, there's that information. Any technical support, if your computer doesn't work for whatever reason, if eCollege doesn't work, I'm really not going to know how to fix that for you. Your best bet is to contact these fine help desk folks at Siena. Get some free numbers, and you also have the tech support up here, or the numbers here even, through the eCollege network. So there's plenty of places you can go for help to solve any computer or eCollege issues you have. Emailing me is probably not going to solve your problem. APA style and formatting page I give you. Nice little video on some of the basics, and there's some good sites here on getting more into the APA way of formatting a project or a document. In fact, this one goes right to the APA website. This one we added pretty recently. It's just a note on plagiarism, and I feel very strongly about you submitting your own work. And any work that's turned in by you, I'm going to assume that you did it. It came from your mind, your imagination, your ideas, and nobody else's. And that's an assumption I have to make with everything you turn in, and hopefully you guys feel that that's as important as I feel it is, that I only see your work. So if it is someone else's work, follow APA instructions on how to cite that. But if they are your ideas, then I'm all for it. That's what I want to see. Your understanding, your application, your examples, not somebody else's. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want you using sources, because I do. I just want you to cite those sources correctly per APA format whenever you use them. All right, so take a look at that. It's in a cute little Dr. Seuss format, which I really like. That's why I included it. Now, each week has its own little landing page. It's called Week at a Glance. Looks like that. Kind of shows you what the week's all about. Gives you some of our major readings. I usually put in a video for you to get you started, get the juices going. And then there's a class discussion like there is this week for week 1. Please discuss the following questions in a few hundred words. Interactions are key in this course, so make sure to reply to at least 2 classmate posts for full credit, which I've already told you, and I remind you that pretty much each week you'll see this stuff up here, which tells you exactly that. Now, when you answer the questions initially, please have that in by midweek Tuesday about 11:59 p.m. That allows time for the class to read and digest those and come up with comments and have back and forths on the comments, because they're all due by the end of the week, which are Fridays at 11:59 p.m. I will be asking quick questions usually during midweek time, so make sure you look for those either in announcements or in the actual class discussion thing for that week. That's really the main 2 places they are. If I do a video or a lecture like this where I include a quick question, please make sure you check that out. So keep track of announcements and keep track of your class discussion each week, and you should be fine. All right, so that's what we're doing. The syllabus looks like this. There's your first class week. Week 1 is Saturday, March 5th at 12 a.m. through Friday, March 11th at 11:59 p.m. It goes all the way through week 8, Saturday, April 23rd at 12 a.m. through Friday, April 29th at 11:59 p.m. All the information is there. That's the text for this course. It's called Entrepreneurship. It's a good basic level text to introduce the topics, kind of the foundation for where we jump off on our weekly discussions and things like that. So make sure you get that. As always, you need the 6th edition of the APA manual, which you should already have if you've had any other classes here. Let's see, a little reminder on plagiarism, because that's kind of a big deal to me, making sure you do your own work. This is all in course assignments. You've seen all this already. There's our grading scale, which is the same in all our courses. And then the week-to-week stuff just takes you through exactly what you're going to be doing, and it should match, if not exactly, pretty dang close with what I have laid out in the weeks for you here. All right, so take a look at this. Go through all the stuff in eCollege, all the different weeks, see what's due. Make sure you get the book. Get those first chapters read and those discussions going, and then interact with each other in the water cooler. And I look forward to a really neat class with you guys. I look forward to hearing your ideas and sharing information. All right.